Good morning, everyone. It is December 6th, 2024, and we are preparing to move into 2025. So I'm with my longtime friend, Ron Horry of FinFit Life. Ron, welcome.
Thank you,
And we'll
Mike.
talk about where we are.
Yes, I'm all ears.
Okay. All right. So, what I was saying, Ron and I were talking off camera, and what I was saying is that I really have boiled it down of how to succeed, and that anyone who can read can succeed today with AI. I think that's very, very important. If you can read, you can succeed with AI. And I'm going to tell you the easiest way to do it right now in two steps, as simple as I can figure out how to make it. Number one is open a Zoom meeting, just like Ron and I are on right now. Most people have a free Zoom account, and most people know how to use Zoom. So you open Zoom, then you click on screen share, and you go to gamma.app, gamma.app, and you can create a presentation with AI in what I call an AI minute. So you can create it really, really fast. And now you're doing a screen share. So you can take a pre-recorded Gamma, and you can get a free account on Gamma, by the way. So you have a free Zoom account, you have a free Gamma account. Okay. So you can read a Gamma while you're doing the screen share. You don't even have to be on camera. Your presentation is on camera. That's the star of the show, of your story course presentation, is the Gamma. You read it, and that is your teleprompter. That's your AI teleprompter. So, what you do is number one, open a Zoom, click on screen share, open a Gamma, either one you pre recorded or do it live. And I'll be creating a course about this. You hit record on Zoom, you read the Gamma. It's right in front of you like a teleprompter. I've been in broadcasting forever, folks. There's not a newscaster, Oprah Winfrey, Tony Robbins, who doesn't use the benefit of a teleprompter to look pro. So if you want to look pro and confident, all you have to do is read the Gamma. Read what is right in front of your eyes as you're screen sharing. Simple. If you are not comfortable reading out loud on camera, I will interview you about your Gamma. I am making it as simple as humanly possible that I can conceive of to make it simple. Then you end your Zoom. And don't worry if you're fumbling around. It doesn't matter, and I'll explain why it doesn't matter. So you do an open and you do your close on Gamma, and then you stop recording on Zoom. Next step is you wait until Zoom emails you that the recording is done. Then you click on that email, open the Zoom. That will reveal the opportunity to trim the video on Zoom. So now you can trim the open, you can trim the close and save it, and then download it. And then you can upload that to YouTube if you want, or you can email it with Mail Softly. So you can take a video email. Now you can email that YouTube video to somebody with Mail Softly and reach out to as many people as you want. So if you want to talk about a simple way, and a simple way to cure brain rot, and the reason being is that you can select what emails you want to receive. So don't just go on, don't just go on TikTok and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. That's causing brain rot. That is diminishing your mental capacity,
Right.
according to science and the study and Oxford University. So don't do that. Okay. Instead, select content that will challenge you, that will expand your brain, your capabilities, your mental health. And you can even choose to take that content, that selected content, out for a walk in nature, right? And listen to it in your earbuds.
Right.
And now you're out in nature, you're quieting your mind, you're getting in a meditative state where you can learn more while you're relaxed and able to take it in and not on a busy, crazy Zoom meeting, feeling all rushed to learn something. You can learn deeper and learn better and learn faster. And this is a way you can really take control of your life and your financial freedom. And it fits in, I think, perfectly with FinFit Life.
I think so, exactly. Because, we talk about physical fitness, but here we're dealing with mental fitness, right?
Mental and physical, because if you're out for a walk, you're moving. Like we talked about how sitting is the new smoking, and that really motivated and guilted me out to take care of myself and make sure that I'm going for my daily walks. And you know what? I summarize these into the short news story keys to success. So they can be only 10 minutes, but I can string them together so you can go out for a 10-minute walk, 15-minute, 20, 30, 40, 50, an hour. And as long as you want, you can be listening, podcast listening and learning very, very simply for your health. So take a good long hour walk, get out into nature, like Walden, and enjoy the riches of the universe and the riches of life. So, I mean, I am just totally excited about. You think about this. I really believe, truly, the biggest potential profit opportunity on the planet is curing brain rot. That's so big.
Right.
It's through the roof in terms of the potential and doing good at the same time. Serving the universe, serving mankind, serving your mental health, your physical health. I mean, it really ties it all up into a nice, neat ribbon, a nice, neat bow.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, one thing that I use, there's there's an online website called Pocket. Have you heard of Pocket?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Well, one thing I like about it is, it'll well, not only is it's a read later app. So if I'm on a website, and I don't want to go into a rabbit hole looking into the website, I can click on Pocket and it'll save it so I can check later. But more than that, every time I open it, it comes up with an assortment of all types of stimulating articles.
Okay.
Talk about AI. They talk about in fact, that's where I heard about brain rot. It said, "Hey, brain rot. It's the Oxford University Word of the Year," but it has very stimulating articles about all sorts of areas. Business, how to use Chat GPT to get 100 likes on your LinkedIn profile, and so on, and also health and fitness. But I checked that for it's like an anti-brain rot source. Also,
Hey,
there's
I love the name associated with podcast listening in your pocket. You take your iPhone in your pocket and you go out for a walk, and you can save it, and you can come back if you want to watch the video or even the course. You can watch the course
the
later.
great thing about what you're doing is you got a whole boatload of tremendous content. That's the good news. The bad news is you've got a whole boatload of awesome content.
I absolutely agree with you. I thank you for recognizing that there's absolutely a boatload of content on the AI Super Campus. It's an overwhelming amount of content. Ron's absolutely right. However, I've come up with a really wonderful solution. And it is using Copilot to navigate the AI Super Campus with me as a co-pilot, as a co-host, as a navigator, to navigate to the good stuff, because there is an ocean of data out there in the world, and even on the AI Super Campus, there's a lot of data, because I wanted to appeal to a broad market, but everybody's interested in different things. Not everybody wants to email, not everybody wants to podcast on YouTube. Some people love Facebook, some people love LinkedIn. So I wanted to, that's why it is called the Super Campus. So it has a super amount of stuff. But what we really needed was a really cool navigator to help you to navigate to the good stuff. And so I used Copilot as a co-host and really a navigator to help people to navigate right to what is pertinent for them. And then all they have to do is email me with their questions. And part of the AI Super Campus is our motto is it never hurts to ask anything of the AI Super Campus. It never hurts to ask anything with the AI Super Campus. So for me to super serve people, all they need to do is ask me, hey, I'm Mike, I'm interested in this or I'm interested in that. Then I can guide them directly to where on the AI Super Campus they could be super served. And that's really what it's all about, is how to super serve the super interested. So if they're interested, they'll reach out to me
Great.
and let me know.
Oh yeah, that would definitely be a big help because it took me a little. Okay, great. I will definitely take advantage of that because I try
Good.
to figure things out, but after a while it gets a little frustrating. But I like to. I don't like to just jump in and start asking questions to see if I can figure it out myself. So I finally did. But thanks for that offer to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to promote that. I want that to be something that I know I can really help people with. Can I tell you one thing that I've learned recently?
Sure.
There was a book that I thought was really a cool title. I can't say I've read it, but Everything I Needed, I Learned in Kindergarten. Did you ever hear that book?
I heard of the book.
Okay. Well, everything I needed, I learned from my mother. I truly had an amazing mother. I really did. I was blessed with this wonderful human being. And one thing she taught me that I've used my entire life and I use today ceaselessly is she taught me it never hurts to ask. I live my life by that. I'm struggling, and some people hesitate to ask somebody something or this. I don't. I just ask. Boom. It never, ever hurts. And, you can ask and they say no or they don't know, but it didn't hurt them and it didn't hurt you.
Oh, sure.
So that's why I even use that quote from my mom that it never hurts to ask on the AI Super Campus. So please, it served me, she served me, super served me, and I want to pass that on and super serve other people with what I've learned from my mom.
I think you being available and Copilot being available to help with the navigation. I think that will be a big help for sure.
Yeah, I think that's really what I am, Ron. Is really I'm the navigator. That's kind of what I am. I work with Copilot to co-navigate, but I can navigate the AI Super Campus and also the AI Market Abilities Growth Expo, which I also have now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is
And
that
so
new?
go ahead.
Is that new?
Yeah.
Oh, in fact, I saw that. I was trying to find the source, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's new. So, and the other thing is, I also practice and talk about the things that I have and that I will do and incorporate them as fast as I can. But I'm also working really hard to work for free or for really, really low cost, as low as $20 a month for um, the guidance through the AI Super Campus. Um, in order to help people understand the most persistent paths to cash flow that have been true since the publication of Think and Grow Rich in 1937, which I've researched and documented, but through the decades, of how it changed, the way you think and go rich changed as the media evolved. This was publishing, this was a book, but media, evolved into radio, television, print, newspapers, magazines. So, I interview people about the most persistent paths to cash and if you stick with the most persistent things, the things that have been true since 1937 and were true as the evolution of the media, were true in TV infomercials, are true in AI, and how to blend the best of both worlds and stay with what I call the thin green line. You can't do just anything you feel like and make money. You can do anything you feel like, but you can't do anything you feel like and make money. You have to follow the thin green line. It's thin because it's not, you can't do everything. And it's green because that's the route to the money. So that's the thin green line, how to get on it, understand it, follow it, use it, stick with it, be disciplined, and keep your nose to the grindstone and follow that proven persistent path to cash. And out of cash comes growth.
I think it kind of goes together too, like with growth, like personal growth, mental growth, business awareness creates the cash also. In fact, I was reading this one article or listening to one person that says, if you develop yourself, you can create wealth, and if you lose it, you can create it again.
Yeah.
because it's based on who you are, not what you're doing. I think Tony Robbins was saying that too. Once you develop your own personal superpower or identity or whatever, you could be dropped anywhere in the world with no money, no cash, no credit cards, and be successful because you have the skills, people skills, brain skills, um, the whole mental mentality on how to start from zero if you had to. Again, we hear all these stories of people, they were a big success and then they went bankrupt. Another success, bankrupt again, another success, bankrupt again. And one of the things is, okay, don't stop. But also, if you know how to create success, you can do it again. It's not just a one trick pony.
No, you're absolutely right. In fact, what I've always been fascinated by is that what you just talked about, but also how to do it with pure willpower and knowledge. And I always think back to Abe Lincoln walking 20 miles to school, right? And that was willpower, okay? He wanted it so badly that he would walk 20 miles to get to school. And I look at that it really comes down to the human will, the human spirit, and a willingness to do what it takes to succeed. If you're willing to do that, um, then you can do it. And same thing with the AI Super Campus. I'm using the term turn it on to let people know it's not good enough to know about the AI Super Campus. You can buy a new Tesla or sports car, Rolls Royce, or whatever you like, but if you don't turn it on, it's not going to serve you. You have to turn it on. And that's what people don't do. They hear about something, maybe they go to networking events, but they don't turn it on. They don't follow up. And that's the difference is that some people turn it on and some people don't. So that's what the AI Super Campus is all about, is to motivate people to turn it on, that there is a path that if they follow it, they can do it. They will be able to do it. They can make mistakes and recover because it doesn't cost $250,000 to produce a TV infomercial anymore, like it used to.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so it's just a whole new world. And I want people to see that the opportunities are just boundless. Now you can literally think bigger and grow richer with AI.
I think too, back to the brain rot is, because of the brain rot phenomenon, people's attention spans are getting shorter and shorter. I've heard, 10-minute commercials on the radio, 10-second rather.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
it's limiting people's ability to go deeper. Like you say, what you want to turn it on, but then you want to go deeper and because one of the things I really focus on is not only learning, but accelerated learning techniques, right? How do you learn how to learn and not only learn, but how do you remember what you learned? But a lot of people, because they're on TikTok and scrolling whatever on these short video shorts, that they don't have the bandwidth or the attention span to spend like 10 minutes with podcast listening or to really study something. And just that whole aspect of the brain rot is physically limiting our attentions, not mine, but well, mine too. But you look at Gen Z, well, that's a whole other conversation. But anybody, or YouTube, or it could be Netflix or whatever. It's like the entertainment society, a phenomenon. People, in fact, there's a phrase years ago said people would rather be entertained than educated, and you see it all the time. People binge watch different Netflix series. I don't even have Netflix. I don't want to pay attention to the distraction, but that's a whole other conversation. But I think there are people, in the 5% or the 1% that say, "Hey, I want to improve." In fact, I saw this article. It was on Pocket. It said 10 books that wealthy and successful people read that poor people do not read. And one
Mhm.
of them was How to Win Friends and Influence People, and some other Ray Dalio book. But it's true, most people aren't reading books.
Yeah, I completely agree with you about people not reading, and that's part of what my thinking is. If you can read, you can succeed. So it includes not only reading on camera, but with Gamma, you can read courses, you can read short summaries of courses or short story courses. You can read on Gamma, you can read the book Think and Grow Rich, you can read courses. So you can both read out loud to create content, but you can also read courses like on the Great Discovery and the AI Super Campus. that will also help you. So really reading one way or the other is a path to the quiet mind and meditation and deeper learning and all the things that you enjoy learning and I enjoy learning from Dr. Huberman from the Stanford
I was
Research
just thinking
Center.
about him
Right,
because he has some really interesting brain information on how to optimize meditation. So
right.
I definitely paid attention to those articles.
Yeah, and I think brain rot is kind of anti-meditation. You know, it's the opposite of meditation. It's like,
Well, the phrase itself tells it all, right?
yeah,
Brain rot. Well, you can imagine this brain, in a jar or whatever, just getting all moldy and crusty,
yeah, but it's up
deteriorating.
here. You
Well, I
know what I mean?
know, but people
It's
don't
it's
realize
our
that.
own. Think of it, if our brain was a cabbage, would you want a nice, healthy, green, glowing cabbage, full of nutrition, or would you like a dark, rotting little cabbage in your own brain that you're carrying around
Yeah.
and it's shrinking and you're using it and it's getting mean and dark and ugh. I mean, it's such a powerful visual.
Well, when you talk about neuroscience and Huberman, I wonder there are probably studies going on where they can physically see the difference between normal brain and, let's say, there could be a normal brain, there could be a super brain, and there's a brain rot brain where you can take some kind of a analysis or photo that shows physically the deterioration.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's real. I mean, but there are people that don't believe in science, they don't know what to believe. Some people, I feel like, with brain rot, I think people have become a little bit like tumbleweeds. They take up physical space, but they blow wherever the wind blows, and they don't really have a very functioning brain. They just kind of take up space. And there are people that are out there and they don't like science or religion or almost anything. They just want to follow somebody somewhere. And there's even a movement toward uh, I think it's anti-influencers, uh, kind of pushing back on influencers that are just creating brain rot, you know. There's a movement toward that. So it's interesting, but you don't have to please everybody in the world, you just want to do what you think is the right thing, benefit yourself, your family, other people that you believe will help them. You're not hurting influencers by guiding people toward, more substantial content that, will do them and their families good. You're just kind of ignoring the influencers who are
I
just,
think too,
there's good ones.
when people are attracted to the AI super campus and what you're doing, it can become a viral effect. Like for me to, in fact, one thing I thought of that I had not been doing, but will start doing is just sharing the videos, let's say specifically on LinkedIn, because that's where business people and people who want to grow their business or start a business are. And so it's like one person talks to another person, those two people talk to two other people. It's like duplicating the penny. So there are people out there that want to learn and are learning, and then have their own circle of influence of saying, hey, guess what I found on this AI super campus? You need to take a look, right? And so Joe Lunchbucket doesn't care, but we don't care about him. We may sympathize with him, but so it's the law of attraction. Like attracts
Yeah.
like. And so, like with Stephanie Maroney, she came on and, you created a relationship. And what you're, also too, you're amazing at creating offline, in person, real relationships, like meeting with the guy who started Mail Softly.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other dimension also, is offline networking.
And I wanted to wait. I'm not in a place where I have to rush to failure or to failing to be able to super serve people. I'm not in a position where I needed to do that. And so I wanted to wait until I really was confident that I have what it takes to super serve people. And I'm in that place now.
Yes.
And so I can really help an awful lot of people, and particularly realtors, professionals, financial planners. That's an area that I really believe I can help people with because, especially in the era of AI, where testimonials are the most influential thing of a purchase decision. Testimonials from people that have worked with you, know you, used your service, and are satisfied or happy with it. And that's going to be I'm doing a course on that, and I'm going to be focusing a lot on that as I move forward because I've really been preparing for a big launch in 2025 on uh, YouTube because the everything is new with AI, and including YouTube has changed their algorithm to focus more on smaller and local channels and optimizing them more than they were in the past. So everything's new. So revisit LinkedIn, revisit Facebook, YouTube, everything needs to be revisited.
What you just said really created, turned a light bulb on for me. Is that writing my own testimonials for other people? It's like giver's gain, right? You give first because there are a lot of because what I like to do is I like to introduce people to each other on LinkedIn. These are people very successful in whatever business category they're in. And then I thought, oh, okay, I can say AI, uh, create a short testimonial for this person that I can send to them, right? So it's like giving first instead of waiting, and then people can go, oh,
100%.
wow. So,
100%. In fact, if you think about it, Ron, the guys who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul were fabulously successful.
right,
But the other thing they did is they gave out testimonials like, I don't know what, like pennies. I mean, they just gave them to anybody and everybody. But what did it do? It put their face and name, out there in front of people. Every time they gave somebody a free testimonial, that person would take that testimonial and use it to promote themselves. But they also promoted the authors of Chicken Soup for the Soul. So
right.
it just makes a lot of sense. Even if you're already super successful, it's just a really, really smart thing to do.
Well, one thing too that reminded me old school is that I think it was George Bush or one of the presidents. He would send out 5 handwritten notes every day to people. Saying, it didn't. I don't remember what the content was, but just the physical act. And even today too, one of the recommendations I've heard about is sending a short handwritten note to somebody saying, "Hey, great seeing you," or "Happy birthday," whatever, just to create that human touch, which is almost non-existent anymore. In fact, there's this whole phenomenon that I was reading about is loneliness among senior men.
Hmm.
Because let's say let's say the wife passed away.
Yeah.
They're just sitting at home, watching YouTube or whatever. And it's another unfortunate phenomenon of today's world, or maybe even um, senior women who are divorced. That's a whole other category of people that are in financial disaster. Women who are married, and then their husband was the breadwinner, providing for the retirement and so on. And all of a sudden, they're saying, okay, the husband says, okay, I'm done. And right, what's the woman going to do? Right, raise the kids for anyway.
No,
So
I think you're right. I see, I go out for walks all the time and I see a lot of older men out walking. Um, and often they're walking with a cane or walking sticks or whatever. And I always wonder, gee, I kind of feel bad for them. I don't know why, because I go out and walk, and I'm sure people probably think I'm an old retired guy with no wife. My wife is still alive and vibrant, but I don't know if people think that. But you know what? How they're really nice to me. I have to tell you, every time I wear my coach's hat, I forget to take it off sometime, and I go out for a walk. Whenever I wear my coach's hat out for a walk, people are so nice to me. They just have a childhood memory of maybe some coach that helped them through something, or they just have a good feeling about seeing a coach. That means a coach is helping somebody do something. And I love to wear my coach's hat out for a walk. That's just a kind of an aside, but I would love to connect with older retired guys. They have a lot of wisdom. They can drop wisdom bombs on us all day long, and we can learn so much from them if they recognize the value of their wisdom.
I
And
think
that's
you probably have a circle of older guys that are still active but have been very successful in business too, and they have a boatload of wisdom that they can share, especially with AI being a broadcast medium, and also too to keep themselves busy. maybe they're involved in nonprofits or whatever, but they're still mentally and physically active. So that's a whole other category that is ripe for showing them how they can take their talents and knowledge and be of service and also benefit themselves personally.
A lot of them make the mistake of thinking that they don't have current knowledge. But what they don't realize is that current knowledge is not very valuable. You can get it anywhere. You can go on Google, you can go on AI and get it free instantly. So knowledge is not very valuable. What is valuable is wisdom. And they
That's
don't
certainly a big
understand that.
thing, right? Wisdom is the key.
Their wisdom is invaluable.
Right, right.
You can't go and Google wisdom. You know what I mean? You've got to know who the person is and really help them to recognize their wisdom. That's what I like to do is help people to recognize their years and years of experience that have boiled down into wisdom. It's almost like making moonshine. You boil it down into the drip, drip, drip of
Oh, right, right.
of wisdom, right? And then all of a sudden you've got something really great.
I think that's very true. And not only well having the wisdom and then also sharing it.
Yeah.
And you hear so many articles, or at least I do, on these generational divides. These conflicts between Gen Z and millennials and baby boomers and so on. And it's just creating this disconnect between people who may be younger and older people who may have wisdom to guide people, no matter what their age, or even guide people their own age. Maybe looking ahead, because one thing that FinFit Life and all our financial partners recognize is the two big concerns with people as the years go by is long-term care. What's going to happen if I get sick? And running out of money in retirement, like those older divorced women, right? And it's a financial crisis. And then, so there are solutions, but the idea of, there's so much information. There's that phrase, you've heard it over and over. If it bleeds, it reads, right? So I used to listen to CBS radio for 2 minutes a day. And then I stopped listening to it because it's all garbage. It's bad news, murders this, and so on and so on. And it's brain rot, right? So
Yeah.
I do browse the news online very quickly. But, part of the brain rot is creating these generational divisions among people, which is horrible.
Okay, let me explain something that I'm going to do with this meeting to process it. So what I'm going to do with this meeting is I'm going to download it from YouTube or from Zoom, but that's only part of it. The more important part of it is that I will use the transcript from this meeting. I will take the transcript from this meeting and my conversation, the wisdom bombs that Ron has given us, and I'm going to take that transcript and I'm going to put it into either part or all of it into one of the AI bots that will digest it. And those would be either Claude, CLAUDE dot AI, or Perplexity dot AI. Either one of those will digest a big part of the transcript, if not all of it.
Okay.
And I then say, okay, give me the keys to success out of this long interview, okay, this long meeting, because people don't have to have the time. You and I sat here for nearly an hour now, okay? They don't have the time to get
Right.
to all of that, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the transcript of this meeting and I'm going to say, okay, what are the keys to success from me and from my friend Ron Horry to share our wisdom with the world? Okay. And it's going to boil it down into the key points of this meeting. Then I'm going to take that and I'm going to take that over to Gamma and I'm going to post that into Gamma to create a short story course about this meeting. So anyway, that's a summary of what I'm going to do. I'll create a course of it. Because see, out of this, we get the benefit. I'll send the course to you. I'll share you the course, but I will put the video into the course. If anybody wants to hear our whole long meeting, they can if they go, wow, this is a great meeting. I really
Yeah,
want to meet these guys. So I'll put the link in so they can see it, but they can get the summary of it, like Cliff's Notes that we all used in college. You know what I
yeah.
mean? To get the summary, and they still get the wisdom bombs and get it fast, and it's quality, so it's not gonna add to brain rot just because it's short. It's not just about being short. It's about quality. If it's light and it's just frivolous or silly and it doesn't call to action or add to anything or help you to do anything important in the world, but just spin your brain. It's a waste of time,
I
and your
think too,
life.
like they say that, the first 10 seconds of any interaction is where you get people's attention. Or, you said yourself, the headline is the key,
Yeah.
right? So we've got a compelling headline, a compelling first 10 seconds, and then people get hooked.
Exactly. And if you're giving them quality, you're solving their problem of brain rot that they may or may not know even exists. And I heard that less than about 0.8% of people are even using AI yet.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It's a small minority of people that are actually using AI. So when you look at what the potential of growth is, it's just monumental.
It sounds like it. I think some people who are using AI, they're just creating funny images, and so it's not, for maybe for entertainment. But I think, you and I are looking at the bigger picture.
Yeah,
How can we change the world?
right,
Put it
exactly.
mildly.
And changing our lives for a very, very good way. One thing that has occurred to me recently, and it's kind of on a meditative or spiritual path, but what I have experienced in the law of attraction on steroids with AI is that if you super serve the universe and ask, how can I super serve the universe and do what is good for the universe? And you can call it God, you can call it whatever you want. If you learn to super serve the universe, you can turn on the universe to super serve you. And
Right.
the more you serve the universe, the more it serves you. And it's blowing my mind with the law of attraction of what I'm attracting into my life with that attitude of super serving the universe to turn it on to super serve me. And it's like, whoa, okay, I get it. Because, if it works, do it and believe it. If it doesn't work, don't do it. But for me, I'm all in because it's just super serving me in ways I couldn't even have imagined.
Well, I totally believe that. And again, I think there are people who have the same mindset, right? And they could be like the 0.1%, but there are people, so we can create this super community. AI is one piece of it, but just the growth mindset, I think, is what will attract people. It's just AI is one piece of this growth mindset
Right.
on how can we change ourselves? How can we improve ourselves? How can we improve the world?
Yeah.
I think that's a large vision that I think the right people will want to connect with and be on board.
Yeah. And I think there are a multitude of therapies for brain rot. And they're not only AI, they're part of nature and walking and like rereading Walden, at this time in our life to get a greater appreciation of nature. And he's the one that really coined the term brain rot.
I heard that
That
on
was amazing,
your
wasn't it?
audio. It was.
Yeah.
So it's something that's not new. It's just a different variation of brain rot.
Yeah, and in this crazy world, I got to tell you, I'm definitely going back to nature. I'm appreciating nature. I'm loving nature. I go for my walks in nature. I look at nature. I look at the sky. I look at, the plants, the trees, and to me, that's God all around us.
Well,
The
there's that physical connection to nature too. The
yeah,
Japanese have a word. It's called forest bathing, where you literally go out into nature, ideally a forest where there are a lot of trees and other growing plants. And there are these ions or whatever particles that exist in nature that don't exist in a concrete jungle. So you're totally right. In fact, it reminds me of, going out to, let's say, Los Gatos, where, there are trees growing all around you, nature trails, to make it a point at least once a week to, like you say, get out into nature. And it makes a difference. It's a very subtle and powerful influence.
Forest gazing, is that what you call it?
Forest bathing. It's like taking
Oh,
a bath.
forest bathing.
Yeah. There's a
Okay.
Japanese term for it. I don't remember, but the whole idea, and people are picking up on it. This idea of, well, how can you, they don't say how can you reverse brain rot, but how can you enhance your physical being just by changing your environment? An extreme example is probably New York City. I've never been there, but you see, these thousands, tens of thousands of people scurrying around in this concrete jungle with these mega skyscrapers, as opposed to Central Park, let's say, which could be such a huge contrast that it really affects our brains and our bodies.
Well, let me give you another quick tip, if I may, as a kind of a wisdom bomb. We'll wrap this up. But I am such an appreciator of the sky. And I've called it the sky ocean for a long, long time. And I finally convinced my wife that the most significant ocean on Earth is the sky. There's so much water up in the sky, and we all own beachfront property on the sky ocean. And all you have to do is look up and gaze at the sky. And I don't know, are you familiar with the Rorschach test?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So all you do is you look up at the clouds and look at it as the Rorschach test and go, what are you seeing in the clouds? And what are you looking for in the clouds? You could find God's faith in the face in the clouds. You can find an angel in the clouds. You can find wonderful things by looking up at the sky ocean, which is all around us, and bathing in the sky ocean in nature as a form of meditation and the sun. And I say to my wife, my sky ocean is superior to your earth ocean. And she goes, no, it's not. We always argue about it. And finally I said, okay, I got the mic drop thing. In my sky ocean is the one thing that created everything here on the planet Earth, and that is the sun. My sky ocean has the sun in it. Without the sun, there would be no life on Earth, period. So my sky ocean is superior to your Earth ocean. And I mic dropped and won the argument, and she succumbed, and now she's a big fan of the sky ocean.
It makes sense. It
It
makes
does.
sense.
And it's all around us. I don't care how happy you are. You have beachfront property on the sky ocean. Look up and appreciate your life and take it all in. So we'll create some really cool wisdom bombs out of this conversation, Ron. I'll create a course
Yes, I'm
about it and share
sure.
it with
I'm
you.
sure. Okay, thanks, Mike.
All
I
right, buddy.
appreciate your
Oh,
time.
have a great day. I'll let's see for next Friday. I don't know if I see you before Christmas, but anyway, have great holidays.
Okay, well, we'll definitely keep in touch.
I'll be around. Ask
All
me any
right.
questions. Don't forget. It never hurts to
Yes,
ask.
I will. I will.
Okay.